Alright Gen 1 Kanto, let's do this one last time. Yellow is the final game of the Gen 1 trio and offers a slightly different experience than what we saw in Red and Blue. Hello there, I'm Skia, and I'm playing through all 39 mainline Pokemon games without using the same Pokemon in more than one game. For the rest of the rules, fainted Pokemon must be released, like a Nuzlocke, no items in battle except for Pokeballs, no glitches or exploits, and I'm playing on hardware, so no speed-ups or cheats. In Red and Blue, we used these Pokemon. In Yellow, we name ourselves Yellow. It's kind of a running thing. And for our rival, we call him Dingus. We meet up with Oak, and he catches a Pikachu that wandered out of Viridian Forest. We follow him back to the laboratory, and we get our starter. In Red, we started with Bulbasaur. In Blue, Squirtle. So in Yellow, there's only one more left. Everyone's favorite fire lizard, Charmander. Oh, Pikachu. We don't give it a name now, but we'll fix that later on. Dingus took Oak's Eevee, and we get a mascot rat, so we're gonna make them fight. It's a close fight, but we come out on top, which is going to make things easier later on. It's an uphill battle starting with Pikachu, given the Pewter Gym hasn't installed its fire suppression system yet, so we'll need to catch a friend or two. There's one that I'm looking for, and while looking for it, we find the bird that we didn't use in Blue. We catch Spearow and name it Spoid. Soon after, we find our target, a male Nidoran. In Yellow, Game Freak updated the moveset to learn Double Kick early on instead of in the mid-30s, so this will help us beat Brock, just like in the speedruns. We catch it and name it Knuff. He's great at doing stuff. After some leveling in the forest, we're ready to take on Brock. Knuff kicks Geodude a few times, taking it down. For Onix, we bring in Pikachu to growl and tail whip while Onix screeches and bides its time. We go back to Knuff for more kicks, and Onix isn't able to keep up. We win, no sprinklers needed, and get the first badge. Early into Mount Moon, Knuff evolves into Nidorino. He just can't wait to be king, but we don't have the Moonstone yet, so we'll have to settle for Water Gun for now. Just a little further into the mountain, we do find that Moonstone, and we get Nidoking. 3 for 3 for having a fully evolved Pokemon before leaving Mount Moon. Before we leave, we need to find our cut user. And if we don't grab one here, we're basically down to Oddish and Diglett. And Oddish I need to save for Let's Go Pikachu. And if I can avoid using Diglett this early into the marathon, that would be great. That way I can save it for another game. Luckily in Mount Moon, we find the Cuttybug to help us out. Paris. We catch it and name her Baguette. The Super Nerd fight goes smoothly as always, with Knuff in the lead. We do take the Helix fossil, but like before, it isn't going to be important in this run. However, unlike before, we do have an extra fight here that was added in Yellow. Team Rocket! Jesse and James come at us with Coughing, Ekans, and Meowth, but Knuff is great at doing stuff and wins quite easily. Team Rocket blasts off, but that's not the last time we're going to see them. We get some experience for Pikachu in the Cerulean Gym, but we're still too low to take on Misty, so let's go track down Dingus instead. Pikachu takes out Spearow, and Knuff gets the rest with Water Guns and Double Kicks. We swap into Baguette to get some experience before going back to Knuff. Up at the Cape, we help Bill out of his cosplay in exchange for boat tickets, and then we head back to Cerulean to try the gym. We look at her stars and see how they shine for you, and all the things that you do. Pikachu Thundershocks and gets an early crit while Misty uses an X Defend. A second shock and Staryu is down. Next up is Starmie, and we start with Thunder Wave for paralysis while Misty goes for Water Gun. We start up a double team while Starmie uses and hits a tackle. We get a turn off while it's paralyzed. Pikachu can't take another hit, especially if it crits. So we switch into Knuff. It is weak to water, but luck was on our side, and Misty uses an X Defend, and then gets fully paralyzed twice in a row while Knuff thrashes about. We win, get the second badge, and the Bubble Beam TM. Aboard the SS Anne, Spoid has a fruitful fight with a sailor and evolves into Fearow. Time for fight number 3 with Dingus, and he leads with a Spearow of his own again. We have Pikachu in the lead and hit it with a Thundershock. Rattata is up next, and we swap into Spoid to hit it with Peck. 2 of those, and the rat goes down. Sandshrew is next, and we leave in Spoid to hit it with Fury Attack and Peck. Sandshrew does get off a Slash, which I didn't know it learned this early, but we managed to survive. Eevee's up last, so we bring in Knuff and finish it off with a Thrashing. We win, and then we visit the captain for the Cut HM, which we teach to Baguette. Lieutenant Surge is at a higher level in Yellow, but only uses one Pokemon, a level 28 Raichu. I also have a level 28 fully evolved Pokemon. While he can't learn Dig in Gen 1, he still can, and he's enough, and he's great at doing stuff. We win, we get the third badge, and the Thunderbolt TM. Pikachu will learn this on his own, so I'm going to save this TM for someone else later down the line. Rock Tunnel is uneventful, but in Lavender Town we meet the Name Rater, and he decides that Pikachu needs a better name. And we learn that we've been pronouncing it wrong. It's not Pikachu, it's Pete-Kachu. While heading to Celadon, we roll the dice with a gambler and Baguette evolves into Parasect. The team is starting to come together. The Rocket Hideout gives us our second encounter with Jesse and James, and they're still rocking the team of Coughing, Meowth, and Ekans. We lead Spoid and take out all three with Fly. Team Rocket blasts off again, and we go to face Giovanni for the first time in this game. Onyx and Rhyhorn go down to Knuff's Ice Beam, and last up is Persian, a new addition to his team replacing Kangaskhan. It's faster, and takes advantage of Gen 1 crit mechanics quite well. We switch into Baguette to get off a Stun Spore, before changing back into Knuff, who has the bulk to take it on even if it crits. A double kick and a Horn Attack and Persian is down, getting us the victory and the Sylph Scope. We head right for the 4th gym to face Erica and her trainers. Baguette was great in this gym, because of a coding error in Gen 1 where Poison is weak to Bug instead of resisting it, so her Leech Lives were hitting for 4 times effectiveness against the Grass Poison types. Time for Erica, and we lead Baguette, and she leads Tangela. We swap over to Spoid, who takes out the Noodle Nest with Fly. Next she sends Weepinbell. We swap into Baguette to employ our 4 times Leech Life strategy once again. Weepinbell is faster though, and it goes for Acid, and that should be fine because it's neutral damage except... So the coding error on the Bug and Poison goes both ways, and I kinda forgot about that part. And Baguette gets melted by Weepinbell's Acid, so we switch into Spoid, who is a better choice for this gym anyway. We hit Fly to take out Weepinbell in one fell swoop, then Fly again on Gloom, and it missed. But we fly one more time for big damage and finish it off with Peck. We win the fight and get the 4th badge. We use Baguette's corpse to escape the gym and then say goodbye to our melted friend. Bye, Baguette. Silver lining is that Erica's gym is the last required use of Cut in this game, so we don't need to find a replacement. The team is looking a little light at the moment, and I have some ideas of who I'd like to use, but they aren't available yet. So first we'll need to take on the Pokemon Tower rival fight with just these 3. Dingus leads with Fearow, and I with Spoid. So I swap over to Pete-Kachu to take it out with Thunderbolt. Next up is Magnemite, and I bring in Knuff. He doesn't have any ground moves yet, but I'll take that immunity to electric attacks and hit it back with Ice Beam, which Magnemite doesn't resist yet, because it isn't Steel in Gen 1. Next up is Shellder, and Pete-Kachu takes it down easily. Sandshrew goes down next to Spoid, and we bring back in Pete to take care of Eevee once again. Dingus's evolution is locked in already, and we can start to see the rest of his team form around that choice, but we won't see which Eon it is until Silphco in a little bit. We beat Dingus and ascend the tower to our 3rd fight with Jesse and James. They've upgraded their team, but even Arbok and Weezing aren't a match for Knuff. We make a brief pit stop in Silphco to get the Earthquake TM and teach it to Knuff so we can finally have a ground-type move. Then we make our way to Fuchsia and the Safari Zone. It took some time, but we find our next team member there, a Tauros. We catch him and name him Mr. Beef, and then did some training to catch him up to the rest of the team. Our next big fight is against Dingus in Silphco. I'm taking this on a little early because it's blocking another Pokemon I want for the team. We're under-leveled, but we should be fine. Dingus leads with Sandslash, and we bring out Knuff. We take it down with an Ice Beam crit, and then Dingus sends out Cloyster. Pete-Kachu beats it with Thunderbolt, and we swap back into Knuff for Magneton. It's the Pokemon Tower fight all over again. With Magneton down, Dingus brings out Kadabra, the strongest member of his team, but it's no match for Mr. Beef. Last up we see Dingus's evolution, and he chose Flareon, which goes down to Knuff. Right after this fight, we get our next party member, the gift Lapras, which we call McBoatface. Our team in Yellow is a bit stacked, and there's arguments that some of these could have been saved for later games, but that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there. Until then, we can absolutely get by in Yellow without needing another party member, now that we've got McBoatface, Mr. Beef, and Knuff. We teach Surf to McBoatface and hit up a PC to grab the TMs for Thunderbolt, Psychic, and Rock Slide. We teach Rock Slide to Knuff. I had saved it for Mr. Beef, but he can't learn it in this game. Psychic and Thunderbolt go to McBoatface, and we train it up to the team's levels. Time to clear out Silphco, and we get our final battle with Jesse and James here. Their team is the same as before, just a little stronger. This time we have Earthquake and many more levels, so they're not a threat at all. Giovanni 2 is next, and while he is above our levels, his Pokemon aren't enough for our team. Mr. Beef body slams Nidorino into submission, and then does the same to Persian. We take a critical bite, but that doesn't slow down Mr. Beef. Rhyhorn comes in next, but McBoatface washes away with Surf. Giovanni sends in Nidoqueen last, and while McBoatface does take a double kick, we respond with a Surf for the win. We've got a Gym Leader Gauntlet ahead of us, but first I swing on back to the Celadon Game Corner to pick up something that I'd been saving up for a while now, the Hyper Beam TM. While this would be a bomb for anyone on the team, we give it to Mr. Beef. In Gen 1, if Hyper Beam gets a KO, you don't have to recharge. It's so busted, and I love it. Koga is first in our Leader Fight Gauntlet, and his team consists of 3 Venonat and a Venomoth. It's an easier team than the Red and Blue team, but they are higher levels. Koga tops out at level 50. We go in with our team in the mid to late 30s, and the first up is the level 44 Venonat, which spoiled Oko's with Drill Peck. Another Drill Peck to Oko the 46 Venonat, but the 48 Venonat takes 2 to go down. And for Venomoth, we bring in McBoatface because of its higher special stat. A barrage of Psychics, and Venomoth is out too, giving us badge number 5. Now that we have Surf, we head over to Cinnabar Island for the next gym fight with Blaine. He leads with Ninetales, and we have Mr. Beef stomp twice before finishing with Hyper Beam. Knuff comes out next and finds out that the Patriarchy isn't all about Rapidash, so we get the Oko with Earthquake. We do the same for Arcanine with a crit for the win. Badge 6 is gained along with the Fire Blast TM, which we teach to Mr. Beef, since his special is decent in Gen 1 and it could help in some fights. Then we make our way to the next gym on our list in Saffron City. Sabrina only uses 3 Pokemon, the entire Abra line. We start off with Mr. Beef, who takes down Abra in 1 Body Slam. Kadabra lives 1 Body Slam with a Sliver and recovers but goes down to the 2nd Slam. Sabrina uses an X-Defend on Alakazam, causing our Hyper Beam to just miss the KO. During our recharge turn, Alakazam hits a Psywave for a whopping 0 damage. I didn't even know that was possible. Zam sets up Reflect, but it isn't enough to stop Mr. Beef, and we have earned the 7th badge with 1 more to go in Gen 1. Giovanni's Pokemon in Yellow have actual movesets, so we had to do some grinding, but now we're ready to take him on. We're still under leveled, but we'll be good. We start McBoatface versus his Dugtrio. He uses a Guard Spec, and we get the Oko with Surf. Next up is Persian, and we swap over to Mr. Beef. We go for Hyper Beam and just miss the KO. Persian gets off a Slash, and then starts double teaming while we finish it off with Strength. Nidoqueen is up next, and it has an electric attack, so we go into Knuff. Luckily, we outspeed and hit it with Earthquake, almost getting the KO. Another wasted turn for Giovanni, so a follow-up from Knuff is enough to knock it out. Nidoking is up, and we go back to McBoatface since Nidoking does not have an electric attack. We KO with Ice Beam, and then Rhydon is up last. Even though it's level 55, we Oko with Surf for the win and get our final badge. We're getting close to the end now, but before we begin our Elite Four training, we've got the penultimate rival fight to get out of the way. Dingus starts with Sandslash once again, but we've got McBoatface to KO in 1 hit with Surf. A critical Ice Beam takes out Execute, and a Thunderbolt for Cloyster. McBoatface's coverage is amazing. Magneton comes out next, and while I'm sure McBoatface could probably take a hit, I play it safe and go for Knuff to KO with Earthquake. Mr. Beef eats a critical Psybeam from Kadabra, but he takes it down with a Body Slam in return. Last up is Flareon, so we go back to Knuff to get another KO with Earthquake. Dingus is down, but we're definitely not ready for Yellow's higher level Elite Four. Let's do some training. So this is the team going into the Elite Four. We've got everyone up to at least level 50, with Knuff and McBoatface to 55. The Elite Four tops out at 65, so it could be shaky on some fights. Let's see how we do. Lorelei is up first, and she leads with Dugong while we go for Pikachu. Dugong gets a takedown for just under half HP, but 2 Thunderbolts and it's gone. Cloyster is next, and it also goes down to 2 Thunderbolts while missing a Supersonic. For Slowbro, we switch out to McBoatface for, you guessed it, more Thunderbolts. Slowbro hits a Psychic for minimal damage and McBoatface wins. For Jinx, we go to Mr. Beef and Oko with Hyper Beam. And for her Lapras, we swap back to McBoatface for a mirror match. Even with hers getting a critical body slam, McBoatface comes out on top for the victory. Bruno is next, and he's once again a bit of a pushover. McBoatface takes out Onix, and we bring in Spoid for Hitmonchan. It gets a critical Fire Punch for 41 damage, but our Drill Peck takes it out. Hitmonlee is up next, and another Drill Peck takes it down too. Spoid can't take out Onix, so we swap back to McBoatface, who tanks a Rock Slide and hits back with Surf. Versus Machamp, McBoatface hits hard with Psychic, while Machamp just stands there and leers in our general direction. Agatha doesn't put up much of a fight either. Knuff beats her Gengar with Earthquake, Golbat with a couple of Ice Beams, taking only a Leech Life for minimal damage. 2 more Earthquakes take down Haunter and Arbok, and then she's on her final Gengar. It is faster and hits a Confuse Ray, but Knuff powers through and gets another Oko with Earthquake. Just before Lance, we teach Blizzard to Knuff in place of Ice Beam. I'd been debating whether to teach it to Knuff or Mr. Beef, but Knuff might need the extra oomph to take down some of the dragons. It's a 90% accurate move in Gen 1, so it's certainly at its best here. We lead Pikachu versus Lance since he starts with Gyarados. We're faster, and we hit a Thunderbolt and just miss the KO, and Lance uses a potion. Maybe it was a damage roll, or maybe we just need a crit? So let's try another Thunderbolt and we just miss the KO again. We don't get so lucky with another potion turn though, as Lance uses Hydro Pump, and Pikachu is down. Pikachu! We swap into McBoatface to clean up Gyarados. It hits with Dragon Rage, and we get a Gen 1 miss with Thunderbolt. Then it hits Leer, but Thunderbolt hits this time. Dragonair number 1 is up next, and McBoatface takes it down with Ice Beam. Dragonair number 2, Ice Beam number 2, KO number 3. Aerodactyl hits hard with its Hyper Beam, taking us under 50% HP, but we KO with Surf. Last up is Dragonite, who hits us with a Fire Blast, but we take it down with 1 Ice Beam. Another loss for the team, but just 1 fight left to go. The final Gen 1 fight, and our last battle with Dingus. We lead Mr. Beef while he leads Sandslash. We hit with a Body Slam, and it uses Fury Swipes. During the second Body Slam, we get the Paralyze, and then finish it off with Hyper Beam. Alakazam is next, and for all the trouble it gave us in other games, here it goes down to 1 Hyper Beam. Against Exeggutor, we hit Body Slam and get the Paralyze, and then hit it for more damage with Fire Blast. It gets a critical stomp, taking us to low HP, and we finish off with another Hyper Beam. Mr. Beef is too weakened though to continue, so we bring in Knuff to take out Magneton. McBoatface comes back in to clean up Cloyster with a pair of Thunderbolts, taking minimal damage from Spike Cannon. Down to the final Pokemon, and Dingus sends out Flareon. It lives 1 Surf and gets a critical Flamethrower, nearly taking us out. I'm not sure if it has Quick Attack or not, so I play it safe and swap into Spoid, who takes a Fire Spin. Once the Fire Spin wears off, we hit with Drill Peck for the win. Yellow version down, 36 games to go. In this run, we used Pikachu, Spearow, Fearow, Nidoran Male, Nidorino, Nidoking, Paris, Parasect, Tauros, and Lapras. All in all, this is who we used in Gen 1. Next time, we get to tackle Gen 2 with Pokemon Gold. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.